noises.
Perfect.
Make some friends.
Today is Sunday, July 21st, and the Yankees just won another series. They took 2 out of 3 from the Colorado Rockies. This is your number 2 sports podcast, and let's talk Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy.
John Boy and Jake.
Still our soundboard less. So for the patrons watching,
it's really funny.
What?
we just had the biggest week going on. We hit the number 2 podcast. Our soundboard is down.
Well, it's only for the patrons. Anyone listening on the podcast app, they won't even hear these words. I'm gonna edit them out. Here we go. What is up, everybody? Thank you very much for clicking play, hanging out with us today to recap this 3-game set. My name's John Boy. I'm coming to you from New Jersey, and I got my best friend and co-host coming to you from the airport lounge at, where are you, JFK? LaGuardia?
Bradley International, baby.
Bradley International. Jake, how you doing? You are in a crowd of people.
Up in Windsor Locks, yeah. So we've got a fun Jakey situation going on here. I knew planning this out weeks ago. There's a lot to juggle. We record a lot of stuff now, as a lot of people are finding out, including 2 top 5 sports podcasts, and I mean that's whatever. But so I was trying to juggle things, and I was like, how am I going to get back to Denver at any point? Because we do John Boy Jake Radio in the mornings, we do Talking Baseball. So I was like, okay, I got to get back Sunday night. How are we going to record Talking Yanks? And I was like, my only bet, there's like an 8 p.m. flight connecting through Baltimore to Denver. And I was like, after the Yankees game, I'll be able to go to the airport, record from there, because otherwise I would have missed my flight if I was recording from home. So I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? So there's just like that, there's a new lounge open in Bradley International Airport that's called The Escape. So at first I thought it was like an escape room thing, which I was like, that's kind of a cool way to kill time at the airport. And then my mom was like, no, you're an idiot. It's like a work getaway place. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. But it's so new that it's popular. So
a lot of people around. I can see people around you. So when you start burning, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, I'm either going to make a lot of friends or a lot of enemies by the end of this.
Enemies, for sure.
But, I mean, worst case, I'll flex on them a little bit. I'll just show them that number 2. So whatever. Well,
thank you to everyone that's been checking out the podcast. Any new listeners, which I'm guessing we have quite a few, we appreciate it. I never would have thought it was possible for this to go up in the rankings. And, I mean, all honesty, they're probably going to go back to normal in a couple days, but even just to get the 1 or 2 day influx is so nuts on this show and Talking Baseball. If you have no idea what we're talking about, Talking Yanks climbed all the way up to the 2nd spot in all of sports podcasts, so we're super thankful. My jaw kind of dropped. I couldn't really believe it as it went. I posted a big thing when we got to 14 because I thought that was going to be the moment.
Yeah.
And then it just kept fucking going.
I told you before this, I was like, yeah, we should keep an eye out. And I was thinking, maybe if we could get into the top 50 or something like that, like that'd be badass. We could show people and be like, yo, look, we're coming. And then it's like, oh my God, what's happening? So you're right. We kind of became the people that you normally look at and you're like, what? I don't like that. What are you doing? But we were generally like very excited and very proud, which are 2 emotions that I'm not used to. So we just kind of kept rolling with it. So thank you. Awesome. Everything. The company that it's around are places that spend a lot of money to top charts. It's like ESPN, The Ringer, Barstool. And then there's 2 from John Boy Media, which is me in my office and you at the airport. Yeah, currently at the Escape Lounge. So, hey, hello, everyone. Hello, new friend.
That's wild. Jake, we do have a ton of sponsors for this episode.
I think I'm just going to let you rip it, man. I don't think we can do full jokes because we got a lot. So thank you.
Thank you. We have a ton of new sponsors.
I'm going to be saying thank you a lot. I'm in a happy place. Odd.
All right, here we go. Here are our sponsors of today's episode of Talkin' Yanks. Sarah May, M-A-E. Always love that spelling of May. Evan Hutch, Ev Hutch. He's been around before. Kyle Peralt, Francis Higgins. Is that JP? Is JP's real name Francis? It's got to be a JP relative.
Common last name.
Maria Silver, John Tapp, Dominic Ricci, Joseph Shanina. That's awesome. Shanina. Sounds like a song. Ben Packer. Sean Riley, Nick Brown, Max Kleber, Jeremy Marsh, Lisa Salerno, Lisa DiMarino. Probably something she doesn't ever get. Andy, because two different names. Andy Asteroids.
Yeah, that's the one jumping out right now.
Can't be a real last name.
Can't be. If it is, kind of cool. If not, why is that your identity? I'd like to know.
Andy Asteroids. Maybe crash lands into your party and just fucking blows the place up.
Totally not.
Sean Twomey. That's a tough one. Josh Rose. That's an easy one. Alexis Rivera. I feel like we've met Alexis before. I'm not sure. Josh Fernandez. Zach Reef. Timothy DiMartino. DC White. Robert Special. And Frank.
Speciale. Yeah,
Speciale. All right, those are our most recent. Yeah. Frank really held down the line there.
The anchor.
Solid ending. Like, no offense to Robert Special, but you go Robert Speciale and you go Frank. And that's the period. Yeah, it's great. Frank. Anyway, those are our most recent.
You don't need to know my last name, all right? Talking Yanks, guys.
Those are our most recent Patreon subscribers. It's $2 a month. Supports everything we do here. You get live access, video access. You can be in the chat with us. Joseph Shanina is in the chat. Says I pronounced his name right, so go me. I'm the best ever. We get 2 jerseys get given away each month. I just did the June giveaway. Alejandro won it. And we have a contest currently going. If you comment under episode 304 on Patreon, 3 players you think are going to be off the team come August 1st, and 3 players you think are going to be on the team come August 1st. Whoever has the most correct out of the 6 wins. So that's it.
Yeah.
So,
and go check out the Patreon. Patreon/Talking Yanks. Couple jerseys. We do some fun stuff on there. $2, and it helps us. Every little bit helps us. So thank you.
All right, Jake. We don't really have any injury or roster news this series. It's kind of a nice, easy weekend of just baseball. Sevy and Betances are throwing. I don't think there's any news on Stanton. If there is, I missed it.
There was kind of an update that there was no update. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not doing any baseball activities.
But we knew that they were going to shut him down to August.
Yeah.
So it's nothing like new or a setback or anything.
Yeah, well, I think people thought he might start doing activities before August, but he's not.
Okay. Yeah, weird. I don't know. I don't think I'm worried about that. I didn't expect him to be doing activities.
There's one update. Cameron Maben's going to start rehabbing. Old friend.
Yeah, Tauchman's getting ready to fight him.
Yeah, and he came out swinging literally and figuratively against his old team. Mikey T show this weekend.
We will get into it. All right, so if you're brand new, we're going to recap the games that were, and Jake's going to burn them so you can get a little reminder of what happens. No soundboard for the Patreon listeners, but it'll be in there for the podcast. Jake, are you ready?
Game one? Yeah, time to make some friends, baby.
I hope you don't get asked to leave. Remember that time you got asked to leave in the middle of a show once?
Where'd I get asked? Oh my God! Well, that was John Boy Jake Radio, and that was the most ridiculous situation. That was someone basically kicking me out of my own home. I couldn't believe that, and I still can't apparently.
Yeah. All right, here we go. On your mark, get set, burn.
Game one, what has happened to these Rockies as Jay takes the mound versus the struggling Kyle Freeland and the rest of the men in purple? Rockies strike first as Ryan Vince McMahon undertakes half yard. It'd be 2-0 Rocks after 2. Bases tucked, show me your bird. E squared takes the Parrot for a grand walk. It's 4-2 Yanks. Happer got through 5 innings pitched, 2 earned run, 8 Ks. We'll take that for now. Meanwhile, La Machina, the machine, reminds his old team of fond memories with the Geico RBI guys in the fourth and the sixth, and then the Yankees rely on their rock, the Judge, with a court-ordered 3-run Yabo Hap to Vino to the tarp for 3. Yanks win Game 1, 8-2 final. Wow.
Wow. You know, so exciting someone dropped some plates behind you.
Yeah, I don't know if I caused that.
I think you brought the house down.
I don't think I did, but someone's having a bad time now. But I'm still having a good time.
Okay. Game 1. I mean, so the Tampa series was so exciting. There's so much drama. I was worried that, like, you know, if we lose Game 1, like, oh, is this a letdown? Is this less than emotion? Because every Tampa game has been intense. That's what CC says on R2C2. It's like, there's intense games, man. Like, emotions are running wild. So the Rockies come in, who are a sad factory right now, and they bring, like, nothing to the table. They do pop 2 early runs, but I don't think anyone was ever worried or scared about that. Maybe just about Hap. But then, I mean, Edwin in the 3rd inning, single by DJ, we walk Judge, walk Gary. Now you got to face red hot Edwin Encarnacion. Grand slam, can't stop, won't stop, and from there, it's over, right? Like I had no doubt the Rockies were going to come back and make this a game, and then Judge or DJ throws another one. Judge later on. The biggest surprise for me is that Tarpley went 3 innings.
Yeah, man, and he looked incredible. His slider was there. He looked like that closer Tarpley we saw briefly in that Indians game. He had to close out because we had no other bodies. I mean, 3 innings from the tarp, it's kind of unbelievable. So, yeah, man, and you're right. I think the way you phrased that was good with your only fear early was Hap. But he kind of gave us the start he's been giving us recently. His last 3 starts, 5.1, 1 earned run, 5.1, 2 earned run, 5.0, 2 earned run. So he's using a lot of pitches to get through those 5 innings. But at the same time, I think we asked that from Hap with 6 innings. But from where he was a couple weeks ago, we'll take this for now.
I'm happy with this performance from Hap.
Yeah.
I'm not really expecting much. As long as he doesn't blow games for us, he's fine. I don't need him to be anything more than, hey, just get us 5 or 6 and don't blow games. And I wish I could expect more, but because of the bad first half, I can't. I've dulled my expectations, and it's like, just don't lose the game. Don't be the reason we lose.
Yeah, and
you don't have to be the reason we win anymore, Hap. Like, you've taken that out of my plans for you because you were so poor in the first half.
Right. Just kind of give us our 160 innings and let's do it. And that's Jimmy. He's kind of been doing that. I mean, since the first 3 starts of the year. So taking those out, 16 games started. I mean, he's been 4.31 ERA. So I mean, it's not great, but I mean, he's only had 2 games where he's really taken us out of it. He had a start against Baltimore in May where he gave up a 6 spot, and then he got blown up by Houston. He gave up an 8 spot. Every game besides that has been 4 runs or less, and only 2 of those are 4 runs. So he's actually kind of been J Hap. You'd like to see a little more distance, but he's been all right.
Yeah, nothing.
Don't get excited, but he's been all right.
Nothing to write home about. Imagine if people were writing home about Hap.
Yeah.
Or baseball players in general.
It'd be odd. But yeah, I mean, I think what was the stat that was leaking out about Hap this week? And the Yankees are 13-6 in his starts this season. So I mean, you can't just measure anything like that because if you're getting rocked and the Yanks are just putting up big runs. But I don't know, Hap going Hap.
He does have a better ERA in the second half in his career, but his career is so long that almost like you can't really put that much stock. Like I'm going to look at the last couple years. Last year, his second half was a million times better than his first half. We were the beneficiaries of that. In 2017, his second half was, I'm dragging this out because the page won't load. 2000, it was, Jake, I'm there. The same exact thing. So.
Okay, yeah, so maybe second half Hap is a thing, which would be great because, I mean, we saw it in person last year, the 7-0, what was it, 2.69 ERA, nice. So, yeah, hey, that would, I like that. Let's look forward to that.
Let's look forward to that. The biggest news out of this game one was that it was the Rockies East versus the Rockies West, and the Rockies East put on a display. It was Ottavino came in and struck out 3 guys. DJ LeMahieu did his thing. But Mikey Talkman, it was the Talkman show. This was the talk show. He had 3 hits and 4 at-bats. One was a hustle double that he blooped in and hustled. He had an outfield assist and a stolen base against the team that traded him and never gave him a true shot in the pros.
Mike Talkman's first game against his full team, he put on a 5-tool performance.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, incredible. That had to be that. Like we make jokes on here. That's a hot take for all our new listeners. But genuinely, that must have been a great feeling for Mike Talkman.
Yeah, I was looking last year. He played 21 games for the Rockies. He had 3 hits. The old Tyler Wade try, 0.94 batting average.
Hey, so there's some hope for Tyler Wade this episode too. How about that?
Yeah.
On his next team.
I don't know. The talk show's the real deal. Judge also had an outfield assist, which was so cool because teams have stopped running on Judge. Like when was it? What was the last team? Was it Toronto? There's some team that did a reset.
Rays and then Toronto.
And I was like, why are we still doing this?
Yeah.
And since the last one, there was a hard stop, and then was it Iannetta? I forget who it was, but he didn't.
It
was Arenado. He didn't go first to third, but he took too big of a lead, and Judge was like, well, I'll just get you there.
It's I mean, it's as Yankee fans, we should be more used to it, but you're kind of not. Because it's almost like Judge has to manufacture it now because teams know not to, and he's still doing it, which is pretty awesome because that's normally kind of the rules of baseball. Like Aaron Hicks, we saw kind of the first guy run on him in a while in the final game today, but like people just don't do it, and like we haven't really seen a great Hicksy outfield assist in a while.
Yeah. And lineup-wise, pinch-hitting-wise, even bullpen-wise, like I got no qualms. If Tarp can give you 3, use Tarp for 3 in an 8-2 game.
And I think that's what was funny because, I mean, we saw it today. We got a couple guys work in a blowout where if you're the Rockies who are going through this brutal stretch right now, you see Ottavino and Chapman come in and throwing bullets just to get loose. Like, that's a slap in the face after they had a doubleheader from hell. They're on a travel schedule from hell. My Rocks are in a tough spot right now. And just, I think just to see us throwing those guys on the last day, I was like, come on, man.
I thought we were going to get some easy stuff. Like, instead of being rewarded by having a big lead, they got punished. They had to face Ottavino and Chapman.
That was and Paulio was great on that call because the inning before, Rucco was like, "Hey, Paul, is it tough getting yourself up for some of these at bats? Like the game's kind of out of hand and it's a hot day." And Paul was like, "Honestly, not really. You know, you're still at work. You're still doing your approach and all that." And then the next inning, Chapman came in for the Rockies, and he goes, "These are the at bats you hate."
It's true. That's true. All right, you ready for game 2?
Let's do it.
Ready for the burn of game 2. Yankees take game 1. We got Tank. We got the Heat, Jake. The Heat was turned up.
Was it the hottest day ever?
According to people's reactions, this was the hottest day in recorded history.
You and I were driving back up through New York Friday, and we heard Francesa's intro, and we both started losing it because he was like, "People are saying the world's gonna end." Do people forget it gets hot? New York? I don't know. They canceled the horse race. And you're just like, wow, all right, Mikey.
Well, I had people DM me like, "Do you think they're gonna cancel the game because it's too hot?" And I was like, "That's never happened ever before in New York, I don't think." And then someone called into Francesa and asked the same question. He gave me the same response, like, "That's not a thing." But it was very hot. We're not
going to do that only because that's never happened.
Yeah, it was very hot, though. Did someone just sit down right next to you at this airport while you're about to burn?
So we, my friend here gave me a beer earlier. He's refilling Cookie Bar, and I might get one in a second. So I'm a little excited, but we're being friendly. Your call.
Are you able to burn?
Oh, I'm always able to burn. Baby.
All right, here we go. Game 2 on your mark. Get set. Burn!
Jimmy, game 2, Masahiro Tanaka versus Antonio Santella. That's kind of a good Faison name. As the two teams head in opposite directions, and they would continue in that direction, Jim. The judge begins the proceedings with an RBI double in the first. Then the Yanks would score 8 more runs in the second and the fourth. Glaber RBI single. NL team, so they didn't even know, Jim. Romine RBI single. Hicksy, LOL, same RBI single. The pinstripe Parrot drives in 2 on a double. Didi RBI single, followed by Glaber again. Stop the fight, Jim. Yanks up 9-0. Rocks would put a couple runs up, but so would the Yanks. Tank's line doesn't look that good, but the Rockies team looks rougher. Tank to Canely to Hale, Jim. Yanks win this one 11-5 final.
11-5 final. You just said the pitchers were Canely to Hale, 2 ex-Rockies, correct?
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu, 3 hits. Mike Tauchman comes in, RBI, scores a run. It's the Rockies East. You had Ottavino the game before. You have Canely and Hale this game.
I tweeted out the night before, and I not to toot my own horn. I've appeared on a Rockies podcast. I live in Denver currently. I wouldn't say I have clout on Rockies Twitter, but there's a couple people that know me. I tweeted out on Friday night. I was like, "Is this the lowest moment in Rockies history?" We went from in the wild card and like a dangerous team. Like, you don't want to play the Rockies. They have so many good players. Arenado, Blackman, Story. I mean, you go around the horn, they've got a lot of dudes. David Dahl was an all-star. And then 2 weeks later, they go 2-14 or 2-12 in 14 games, and now they're bottom feeders in the NL West. Jimmy, I was wrong because Saturday was the lowest moment in Rockies history.
They played bad baseball.
Yeah, you saw their soul leave their bodies. Like you were all over the outfielders. What was going on there, Jim?
The outfield was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen. Or Paul O'Neill was saying on the broadcast that in Coors Field, and Ottavino said this on Susan Wollman, that the outfielders play so deep because anything over their head turns into a triple that a lot of bloops turn into singles, is what Ottavino said. He's like, so you kind of just can't pitch to contact if you're pitching in Coors. And then they were playing so deep and taking the worst routes. Romine's ball is caught so all the time. And then who hit the ball that in left center that dropped in where like they made like a running diving catch? I can't remember who hit that one. I think it might have been Glaber in the 6th inning. But it was bizarre. It was like, why are those falling in front of you? I'd never seen a ball at the warning track fall in front of someone. And then someone said maybe they're just used to the Colorado air, so when Romine hit that, because he played it as if it was going to bounce off the wall or be a home run.
Right.
And then had to revert. So it was like maybe that Colorado air, they just thought that was a homer. I don't know. The Rockies outfield was terrible. Some Rockies reached into my Twitter and said, like, it's bad at Coors, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's I know Charlie Blackman. I know he's been like removed from center fielder because he was like one of the worst metrics like defensive players ever last year. I don't think any of those guys. I mean, Ian Desmond, who I was almost said bless his heart. Who am I? Ian Desmond is so much cooler than me in the realm of life. Ian Desmond, I mean, he's playing center field, Jim. This guy came up as a shortstop many moons ago and like was never like, I don't know, known as like a super athlete or a speed guy. He's kind of their go-to center fielder. I don't think the Rockies defense, when they throw Tappy out there, he's pretty impressive sometimes. But outside of him, I think their outfield defense, no bueno.
It made it seem like Yankee Stadium was huge.
Right. Short porch.
Romine got a stolen base, Jake. I don't know if anyone, maybe you're driving, maybe you're at work and, something just happened and you were like really firing away at Excel. So I'm going to say it again for anyone. Romine stole a base, not a delayed steal, not the back end of a double steal. Romine just took off and stole a base. They didn't cover second because they didn't think Romine was going to steal, which I guess he knew that. Romine stole a base off the Rockies. I mean, that puts them on hide the knives watch. 2-13 in your last 15. You went from wild card contender to so bad, and now Romine steals a base on you. I mean, yeah, the Yankees
Jimmy.
clubhouse, they switched out all the knives to sporks.
Right. We talked about that on the pregame show today, which a lot of you have been tuning into. If you haven't, go check it out. Jim, that was the definition of the varsity team playing the freshman team, and like the varsity catcher, like the big meat catcher that can barely move, like he steals a base on the freshman pitcher and catcher in the scrimmage game. I mean, that's what that was.
Yeah. That was like when I used to play, when I would like run the bases when I coached my brother's 12-year-old team, and I was proving that like they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
See, you're not watching me. You got to watch the runners. That's what that was. Romine was teaching them a lesson.
So that's kind of nice. Thank you, Austin.
That was nice of him. David Hailstorm comes in. He's pretty good. Tommy Canley comes in, throws a clean inning, ground out, strikeout. Ground out. Tanaka was cruising. And then gets into the 6th inning of a 9-0 game and just absolutely loses it. Good for the Rockies for putting up some fight, but it was like a bad inning. Ground out, single, double, walk, home run, double, single, ground out. 5 runs. Terrible inning that ruins his day and his line because he looked fantastic when it mattered. And then when it didn't matter anymore and they're up 9-0, I don't know if he lost his edge. I don't know if the Rockies just had better swings, but it ruins his final line, which is disappointing.
Getting a little emotional over there.
Because this is now in like 2 months when people don't remember the actual game situation. It's going to be fodder for people that tell me Tanaka's bad.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I'm messing with you because I know how much you love Tank. And yeah, it sucks, but I mean, this is almost like the old school, like you hear Wellesley talk about it or Pettit, like, oh, well, you have a big lead, just throw strikes and get through the game. And yeah, you wonder if it was that or if it was them seeing Tanaka another time. Jimmy, I have something that's going to crack you up. So I mentioned my situation to start the show at the escape room in the Bradley International Airport. So I set up a little corner. Like there wasn't many spots available. I found this little corner. I was like, this is going to be perfect. I'm about to kill it. I'm going to have the best podcast of my damn life. Double top 5. I'm the king of the world. So Jimmy, there was an area next to me that I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was like an ice cream bar that ended or something because there was just like chocolate morsels. And I was like, okay, this will be an okay spot to set up. It turns out, as I mentioned before the bar, that this is a cookie bar. So, and as I think I've mentioned on previous episodes, if I have one sweet, I just become unstoppable.
Yep.
I was given a bag of cookies last week because I was watering some neighbors' plants. Ate the whole bag in like 3 hours. Got violently sick. Just no self-control. I mean, this is now. I think maybe someone in the lounge knew that.
Are you trying to get us to believe?
They're now tormenting me.
Subconsciously, your body knew the cookie bar was right there. You're not just accidentally sitting there. Maybe not consciously.
Right.
You're like a magnet to sweets.
I'm not going to rule that out. Not going to rule that out, but I'm thinking. I think there might even be a TY fan here that knows about my condition, and now they're coming at me. So yeah.
Hey, some people were complaining about Boone taking Judge out. This is a 3rd time now he took Judge out, and then it becomes somewhat of a game after the fact. It was the hottest day in the history of recorded hotness. Tauchman playing fine. You had any qualms with that?
I mean zero. Jim, literally, we just said before, people were talking about canceling the game because of heat. And this is a game we were up 9-0 in, folks. So, like, get over it.
And he did have a play at the plate in which he was out.
Right.
It was early, though. So after the 5th inning.
Jim, this is the Luke Voigt-Lip game, too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Luke Voigt takes a 91-mile-per-hour pitch to the lips. It did brush his shoulder off first, but still. So many people were saying that on Twitter, like, it is shoulder first. Like, what do you think? Between shoulder and chin, it dropped 20 miles per hour. Even then, he took a 70-mile-per-hour pitch to the face. Like, What do you want? There's no way you can downplay that as not being something that's fucking wild.
Skimmed his shoulder. Who cares? No, and I think Voigt said it best. And
Dude, that's so funny. Sorry. When people say, like, it was just a changeup. It's like, it was just an 80-mile-per-hour changeup. Buster Posey got hit with a Mark Reynolds curveball that was like 70 miles per hour, and Buster Posey was like, that still hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I can throw 55. We've done this conversation. If I hit you with a 55-mile-per-hour fastball, it would hurt you.
Hurt really badly.
Yeah. So, okay. So 91 to the face.
I think, I was saying before you rudely talked about hitting me with the baseball, I was saying that Luke Voigt, not normally known as a wordsmith of sorts, he summed it up best. He was like, dude, he felt that, like, Giancarlo Stanton fear for a minute, because Giancarlo told the story when he got hit in the face, there was, like, so much shock and adrenaline that he just saw, like, chiclets start dropping out of his mouth. Voigt was like, that could have just happened to me. Like, he looked down and basically was worried he was going to spit out his teeth. So, yeah, I mean, think about that for more than a second, people. But he's okay, and he plays the next day.
Savage.
I guess you could say that's savage.
I'm going to be on Cespedes Family Barbecue. You know, they have a show.
Yeah.
So they invited me on tonight.
Nice, man.
What's their show called? It's on MLB Network, right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to be on that. I can't give you any inside information, but they want me to list the top 3 most savage and the top 3 bottom savage hitters on the Yankees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No spoilers. Tune in.
Wow.
Yes,
you have to say the bottom 3?
Yeah, they want me to list the least savage people.
That's tough, man. I don't know. I think you got to dance around that.
I know what I'm saying. I got my answers.
Okay.
And some of them I'm not excited to say. I'll tell you that. I'll say it that way.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, not excited to say.
Shouldn't be. J-Hap.
Don't tell me what to say.
Sorry.
I have my answers.
I'm on the mound right now, and if I see J-Hap, I think I got a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I already have my answers. I sent in my answers so they can get some graphics.
Proud of you.
Okay? Jeez.
Every day.
Every day I am.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. All right, let's burn game 3.
Let's burn game 3.
On your mark. Well, I wanted to say this.
Okay.
Luke Voigt gets hit in the face, so he comes out. Most teams, last year's team, takes a dive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, we'll just take our third baseman, who's a second baseman, and we'll put him at first base, and he'll play great. And then we'll take the guy off the bench, and he'll go to third, and he'll be great. The depth can't really be challenged.
I mean, we end up there a decent amount, but yeah, man, it's unbelievable. And, dude, I mean, even freaking Mikey T, you're the biggest Mike Tauchman fan in the world now. He's been like a good, like, outside of his initial weeks, he's been like a good baseball player, which is nuts.
Nuts. Let's go. Game 3. Will the Yankees sweep the Rockies? On your mark, get set, burn.
Herman Marquez hoping to salvage anything for the Rockies versus the Big Maple. James Paxton looked like he had a little too much syrup this morning, Jim. Gives up his obligatory first run to Charlie Blackmon. Kind of like him. But DJ26 has another hit, Jim, over the right field wall. We are tied at 1. It's not a problem until it's a problem. Paxton, man, the Rockies score 6 runs combined in the third and the fourth. Tauchman, he tries to remind his old team what they missed out on, and this Hicks. Unstoppable. As they both hit solo homers, but it wouldn't be enough, Jim. Paxton didn't have it today. Getaway day. Saved the pen for the big road trip. 8-4 final.
Bummer.
Bummerosa.
It was a bad recipe. We've talked about this on our Sharp Stabs episodes. The Yankees are bad on Sundays, especially when they already have the series won. It's like a weird stat. Bad on getaway day when they have the series won. We said it on the pregame show. I was like, I think this might be a stinker because Paxton doesn't pitch good when there's nothing on the line. And as much as you want to win every series and win every single game, they already won the series. They have the Twins. They have the Twins and the Red Sox coming up on a road trip. Those preparing for those are more important than winning this game right here. That's not to say they don't try, but that's like seeps into the back of your head and you have to fight it. Like I think Chapman and whoever and Otto were pitching no matter what. And that's kind of the plan you went into with this game. This isn't an excuse. I wish that it just didn't happen, but I understand it. And Paxton's just so frustrating. Being like the void of emotion for a guy, Jake, who came over, he did R2C2. He said he thrives on emotion. He needs to be angry on the mound. Like these are his quotes. Then he said he wants to be ahead of the count or done with the at-bat by the third pitch. And when he was saying this shit, I was like, yo, this is awesome. We got a fiery guy that's going to attack batters. And now it just seems like that's what he tells himself. That's not what he does. I lost your audio.
The first inning thing is brutal. I mean, it's tough to say what's going on up there. I mean, it's all mental. All you opener people get out of here because his first inning is still going to be his first inning. So let's move past that. It's tough, man. But I mean, his next start is going to be at Boston, and I mean, we saw him turn it up for Boston earlier this year. And Jim, the thing that's nuts about this is the fact that his two starts before this were good. But in our heads, they're still so skewed because the first inning thing is driving us nuts. That people are like, oh boy, Paxton, I think it's time to call him a bust. And it's like, you know what? If he pitches a good game against Boston next week, what are you going to be saying? Because you're going to look, and 3 of his last 4 starts are going to be really good. And if he beats Boston, I mean, that's how you earn the most clout in this. So I don't know. I think people need to come off of that a little bit. But it's super frustrating. He couldn't get ahead of a single batter. And I don't know, now people are talking about the knee again. But it just seemed like every at-bat he was in a 2-0 count. He'd throw one great pitch to, like, get back into the at-bat, and then he'd struggle again. So it was I'm just not his day.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. I mean, like you said, he had 4 out of his last 5 were good, so if he has a good outing here, I'm sitting here saying, hey, we're on our way. Paxton's, like, doing good right now. Instead, it's the most depressed Rockies team. Actually, in between game 2 and 3, the Rockies DFA'd Mark Reynolds. They sent down Senzatella. They brought up 2 new guys. Bud Black got ejected in game 2, and they did come back from being down 9-0 to 9-5. So there were signs of life. There were signs of like a boiling point. So I did think the Rockies, I said this on the pregame show, I think they're going to come out kind of with a good game right now because they had reached rock bottom. So they just needed to go up a little bit. But it's still a team that Paxton should have shut down given out all the situations, or at least competed. Like that's what I said. Like at least compete. And he didn't. It's a non-competitive outing from Paxton, which I've seen too many of. Now I'm not saying like Paxton's garbage. It's not like people always want to push me one way or the other. I have faith he can be good going forward. But it's going to take a while for me to like trust him. Volume.
I mean, that's where it's so baseball Susan. I mean, you know, if he goes out and he pitches 4 gems in his next 4 games, we're going to be stoked, and people are going to be saying, could he be our 1 starter in the playoffs? There's still so much of this season, Jim. The trade deadline has not happened, and there's going to be 2 months of baseball after this. So whatever you're thinking about a guy can still change on its head.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not – the Yankees are not happy with what they've gotten from Paxton at this point.
No, and I don't think Paxton's happy with what he's gotten from Paxton.
What about his wife?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're enjoying
I don't think
New
I don't think she puts a lot of pressure on him to perform.
Wow.
She's a fan no matter what, by his side no matter what.
Oh, yes. I think that's a much better way to say it.
Yeah. She's not going to ream him out for having a bad game. She loves him.
Well, you don't know that.
This is what I think. She loves him.
You don't know that.
She's a great wife.
A lot of people are not happy with you right now.
I was gonna make a comment about your future wife,
Okay.
but now that you have like Jess and like you're in a long-term relationship,
Right.
those seem ruder.
Oh yeah, and
Then,
they've
like,
always been.
No, when we were younger,
No,
it's
no,
like
no, they've always been.
when there was no prospects.
No out.
When there were prospects, it was funny to make jokes about your future wife.
No out.
Yeah, it's a little out.
No, zero out.
You wanna-
Always extremely rude.
No, not
Yes.
no,
Completely and fully.
not always.
So you just lean into the mic.
We here's an inside scoop.
Give me the
Coley
scoop,
Harvey,
Jim.
Coley Harvey, friend of the
Yeah.
program, beat reporter for ESPN.com. Interviewed Jake and I. He's writing a little feature on us. I hope, unless like after the interview, he's like, "Fuck that." Then
Yeah,
then
I think that was a prank.
He's not, but we went to the stadium. We talked to him for a while about everything. Jake, we were trying to explain that I've always just done stuff.
Oh
Like
my
I've
God.
always like
This was hilarious.
my creative outlet has always been to just make weird videos
Jimmy,
and
time out.
weird stuff. Yeah.
If you're listening to the podcast and you're driving or you're working out or you're at work and like you just kind of hear the words coming through, boink, like you're gonna want to listen right now.
Well, anyway, so we're trying to explain that, and Jake's like, we went on a road trip. Jake and I drove cross country in 2014. Brought GoPros and a video camera, and we filmed everything along the way because I knew I wanted to make like a video out of it. Jake didn't know what the video was going to be. So after the road trip, I give Jake like a DVD of the video, and it's an hour-long documentary. And I wrote I wrote narration, and I had my other friend narrate it. And it's a documentary for Jake's son, so he can learn about his dad because Jake has died. And Coley Harvey laughed so hard.
Yeah.
I'd never seen someone laugh harder when we told him that's what it was. And then he kind of felt bad for laughing because it's about you dying.
Like Coley,
It's on this YouTube channel, for Rex Storielli.
Coley knew coming in that like, you know, this was going to be an interview, but obviously we're going to be silly and have some fun moments. When that happened, the wall was broken. He let out a pretty good cackle because again, I was on a road trip with two of my friends and Jimmy was recording like everything we did, all these pit stops. I was like, man, this is going to be a memory forever. And he goes, all right, man, I just finished it. So I'm getting all excited. There's one of my buddies narrating it with a corncob pipe. Did he have a pipe?
He had a corncob pipe, yeah.
And it was to my son Rex, which I haven't fully done the name thing, but I'm leaning away from the name Rex. And I have passed away. So yeah. And here we are, number 2 and 5 on the podcast charts.
Did that for no audience at all, just literally so I could for nobody, just so I can laugh at it myself.
For nobody.
Spent 4 hours recording the narration.
While we're on this avenue,
probably spent a week editing the video.
While we're on this avenue, I'll get this out of the way. Next step, or I guess I could do it for voicemails. I didn't think about that. I'll butter. I didn't agree to it, but I'll butter.
I said that if we broke top 10 in the rankings, Jake would do an episode while holding 2 peeled sticks of butter.
So, I mean, I've got no qualms with that. I accept, but you will have to be willing to do something in the future. So,
you know what I'm really worried about now, Jake? The reviews.
Me trying to use my computer while I've got butter in my hands?
No, I'm worried about the reviews. We're like, it's more realistic that we're going to break 1,000 now.
Oh, that's right. And you'd have to shave. Oh, that's okay. Perfect. So now I'm excited to butter.
I told Katie, I said, this is great, but we may break 1,000 reviews before the season ends now, which means I have to shave my face. And she was scared because she'd never seen me with my face shaven.
So she's not. There's not a little of her that's excited for that.
No, she seemed zero excited, which means she might leave me.
Okay.
And for anyone listening, Jake agreed that he would tape my shaved face, my hair, onto his face and wear my beard on his face.
I mean, that's kind of win-win for me.
Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. I thought there was no fucking way we'd get 1,000 reviews before the season ended. I also didn't
Yeah.
think that we'd ever be number 2 podcast in the sports section. Let's go on to the next section of show. It is brought to you by... Oh, is it brought to you by anyone, Jake?
It is brought to us by someone. And hey, Mazer Gaming, you guys up. I think I just spilled a little bit of beer, but that happens every podcast. Mazer Gaming, our guys, and hey, good timing for them because we're kind of blowing up. So hey, maybe we'll tie it to Mazer Gaming a little bit. If you're into gaming at all, Fortnite. You used to play The Sims back in the day. You're like Jimmy. You used to play a little PlayStation Tony Hawk. You've got a little gamer in you. You still do. You get competitive. I go on Rocket League. I yell at little kids a little bit. That's on me, and I get that. Mazer Gaming, they're good dudes. I think we're going to be they're coming out with a graphic. They're giving away Yankees tickets. And all you have to do is follow them. And I think a tweet, but like that's it. So go check them out. Mazer Gaming, their website is mazer.gg, which I think stands for good game. What do you think it stands for?
Glory be to God.
Glory be to God. That's you always lean that way. I see their followers going up, and I see a couple of you Yankee names I know following them. So we appreciate that. Go follow them on Twitter at MazerHQ. At MazerHQ. They're partners with us. They like our vibe. We like their vibe. If you're into gaming at all, just go check them out.
Hey, Judge hit a home run, and they had the sideways shot of his swing.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. And I wanted to caption it. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Do you think I can do that?
You can.
Do you think people will be upset? Do you think people know that song?
I think people would like it normally. I think a couple people outside of your normal realm would like it, and then you'd probably come back and say something else that would make them not like it.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I thought it was a good caption, but I deleted it. All right, on to awards.
Yeah, I guess we'll go to awards now. This
awards!
Is the awards.
Jake gets to go first because he mixes pleasure on Sundays like a heathen. That's how we remember that Jake goes on Sundays. He does not take the day to himself. He does pleasure on Sundays. He's a heathen. Jake, first award we give out is Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Who is your Pride of the Yankees for this 3-game set versus the Colorado Rockies?
Jim, are there some great candidates or what? Jim, you know what, man? I'll drop bombs on them. I'll do it. My pride of the Yankees, a sentence I never thought I would say. My pride of the Yankees is Mike Tauchman.
Wow.
I'm doing it.
He would have been mine. If you didn't take him, I was taking him.
I'm doing it. I mean, 4 for 7 in his games played, couple ribbies, 5 runs. I mean, that's almost unbelievable.
Outfield assist, hustle double.
Outfield assist, stolen bases, Jim, against his old team as the Rockies are kind of bottoming out. And, I mean, he played great out there. And, Jim, I mean, like I was telling you, I mean, he's actually been, like, really solid for a while. And I think I heard Paul O'Neill, who, if you've been listening, you know my crush on Paulio because I think he has, like, a good version of my brain, / he was a professional athlete I idolized for years. But he said a couple huge things because Rucco is like, so what's been different with Mike Tauchman, Paul? And he goes, honestly, he looks confident like he belongs, which if you look at the original games Mike Tauchman came up, he genuinely looked scared in the box and like he wasn't swinging.
I kept giving him like the "Who are you" award. What's your approach? I have no idea what you're trying to do. You don't look like you're having an attempt at an at bat right now.
I mean, it was honestly bizarre because you couldn't tell if he was trying to go like opposite field. You had no idea what he's doing, Jimmy. So after his first 9 games, so he comes up, he plays 9 games, and they're pretty brutal. Let's just be honest about it. So, Jim, 37 games. So from April 16th. So we're like cutting out the first like 2 weeks of the season. Since April 16th, 37 games played, 107 at-bats, 262 batting average, 352 on base, and 820 OPS. He's been like a really good player for the Yankees while playing really good defense at all three outfield positions. Mike Tauchman has been legit for us. And the other thing that Paul O'Neill was saying, besides his confidence, he's just leaned into his role.
Yeah.
Like, he's not up on the major league team like, hey, these could be my last 4 at-bats up here. I better try to hit a home run every time to make an impression. No, he's like playing his game right now, which is solid defense, putting together a solid at-bat. If you hang a pitch, he's going to pull it and hit it out of the park. He can do that. And I mean, Mikey T, I'm happy for the kid. I know you've got the fever big time.
Yeah, he's making me giddy, and I think it's a real. For a while, I kept saying, I don't know if I ironically like him or like him for real right now, but you kind of just summed it up best. He's playing his role. He might be off the team for Cameron Maybin. I think that is the logical move since Cameron Maybin doesn't have options, and Mikey Tauchman does, and that's a bummer for him. But he goes from a guy who won the MF award 4 times this season already, Jake. 2 from you and 2 from me.
Yeah.
And this is his 10th award on the season.
He's a fun guy to give an award to.
Here are some of the awards. Oh, right. This is mean. Oh shit, some of these are mean.
Yeah.
In the 5th series of the season, I gave him the I Can't Wait to Say Goodbye award.
Yikes, Jimmy.
Then you gave him the Who Do You Think You Are award.
Good question.
Then you gave him the Same on Same award because he crushes lefties as a lefty.
Right, positive award.
I gave him the Showcase award because I think he may be the last piece. Like, Cashman offers it, trying to sprinkle the pot, and they're like,
right.
I don't really like that flavor sprinkle, but sure, put it on.
Right.
And then you gave him the Superhero award, and now he's winning your Pride of the Yankees, Mikey T. What a story.
Yeah, Jimmy, and I mean, things kind of add up. We mentioned the reverse splits. If you don't know, Mike Tauchman's hitting .385 against lefties, which is insane. He's starting to hit against righties. He hit his 6th home run of the season today. All 6 are against righties. And Jim, the other thing that's kind of big that, again, we get away from like being an athlete and like think about it as your actual workplace. Dude, when Mikey T came up, Tyler Wade was pissed at him. He thought he was going to be – a lot of the guys on the team are still really close with Tyler Wade. And I think a lot of the guys on the team, Jim, if you remember, nobody talked to him.
Yeah, no one talked to him, and they laughed at him when he got really excited after he hit a double.
Right, he hit the double, and they all started, like, smirking at each other. Now, like, R2-C2, they did the Game of Thrones thing. Like, they know who Mikey T is, and he's a part of the team, and I genuinely think that's a big thing.
Yep. Well, it is. They always talk about the culture and stuff. All right, my Pride of the Yankees. He was Pride of the Yankees last week. From you, I am giving it to him today. It is Edwin Encarnacion.
Parrot, baby.
The Parrot. I mean, he had 7 RBIs on the series, grand slam, 3 RBIs in game 2. I mean, this dude's good. He sees the most pitches on the team now, if you count his stats for his entire year. Not just on the Yankees, but for Seattle ends. Oh, we got an Eddie fan behind him.
A young fan.
7 RBIs, 3 hits. That grand slam was huge at the time. We were down 2, so swings the game from being down 2 to being up 2. And it was with 2 strikes and kind of just lunged and took it. So Eddie's still doing good things. What's that?
That was nuts where he hit that ball.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm giving Eddie my pride. 2 series in a row, he gets the pride. You gave it to him last week.
I mean, he's been hitting big home runs, and that's how you become beloved in this town. Jimmer, do you know how many home runs he has on the season?
Edwin?
Yes.
I'm going to guess 27.
29 home runs.
2 more than what I guessed.
Jimmy, when he hits his next home run.
Yep. It'll be 30th. Ask me more math questions. That
will be his 30th home run. That's a great call by you. That's some Buck Showalter. Buck Showalter's rubbing off on you.
Thank you.
Jim, that will be his 9th or his 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. His 8th straight season with 30 home runs.
It is the most home runs out of any player in all of the 2010s.
I mean, it's unbelievable, and I know we've been sending shot fires, and he still hasn't been incredible. Like his batting average with the Yanks is around like 170 or 180, but he had a slump, and it's still a small sample size. This dude can hit. He's our cleanup hitter right now, and we're confident in him.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
He smiles real big when he goes to the dugout, like real big, and then he doesn't smile the rest of his life.
I'll say this. Edwin, I know you're listening. You're a big fan, and I love you. Know how you look back? Like they show the highlights of Paul O'Neill playing, and you're like, was this filmed on a napkin? What happened? Like I was alive during this, and I watched this, and I thought it was fine. Know how you look back and you see some athletes, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that guy was an athlete in that generation. I think 20 years from now, we're gonna look back at Edwin and be like, that guy hit the most home runs.
Wow, so mean.
I'm so mean.
That's so mean.
I'm so bad.
Yeah. Can't believe you just try to give Edwin the Pride Award and you gotta call him a lazy slob.
Okay, those are the words you use. So now you think that way?
No, I think he's probably all muscle.
Wow, John Boy calls Edwin Encarnacion a lazy slob.
Okay, let's move on to the MFer Award. Let's pick everything up. Let's pick things up.
Let's pick things up here.
Pick things up, Jake. Motherfucker Award. You motherfucker.
I'll pick it up real quick. It's James Paxton, man.
What did he even do wrong?
Dude, it's just the first inning thing sucks and really is a mind F, as I make friends here in the airport. It sucks. I mean, I think before this start, he had the worst first inning ERA, and then afterwards, he had like the third best in baseball, and that drives you nuts. Again, and this will just be my quick positive spin, people. There's a lot of season to still be decided, and in the bigger games that have mattered, he's still been good. So don't be ready to write off James Paxton just yet. But at the same time, you can be very mad at him because he has been disappointing to a degree up to this point.
Yeah, I already said a lot of what I'm gonna say on Paxton. Disappointed, frustrated, but because it's there, he can be so good. Starting to get
frustrated.
Frustrating. He's very frustrating. All right, my MFer is going to, because you took the easy one,
right?
Gary Sanchez.
Wow.
I don't give Gary motherfuckers lightly. If you're a new listener,
wow.
I am a big Gary fan, big Gary defender. A lot of people like to be like, you're so biased. And it's like, well, I'm a Yankee fan, so I don't really, of course I am. Anyway.
We like the Yankees.
Gary's in a slump that is lasted long enough, and he needs to have a good road trip. He needs to have a good road trip versus the Twins and Red Sox. And maybe the Red Sox can get him out. I hope we see Price. A little slump buster, but I hope he gets out of his slump before that. His last 12 games, Jake, which is all of July, it's a 133 batting average, a 220 on base percentage, and a 224 slugging. It's not good. He had a couple hits that were big hits in the games that they took place, but he looks bad. And if he has a bad road trip, it's going to get so loud. My problem with it getting so loud is what's the action? If you're going to complain about something, it needs to be something. No, this isn't totally true, but there's no action. Like we can say Gary's slumping, but there's zero chance Romine takes over as starter. There's zero chance they trade for another catcher who becomes the starter. So there's no real action involved to complaining about Gary Sanchez this season. So all you can do is say, wow, Gary's hitting bad. I hope he picks it up.
Yeah, and it's I mean he's in a bad way at the plate right now. I saw a fastball today that I was like, I pictured when Hot Gary was up, and I was like, that ball would be on the moon. And right now Gary's not even touching it. And Jimmy, I guess the only action item that could come from anything, action item. Wow, I'm back in the business world. The only action item would be giving Gary know how when Gary was hot, like we started playing him like day game after night game and stuff like that? You just kind of go back to catcher protocol. Like if he plays the night game, just give Romine the next day. You just do that right now until he gets hot again.
Yeah, just a little more refreshers and stuff like that. I agree. I just hope let's have a big road trip.
Let's have a big road trip.
I don't want to give Gary the motherfucker award.
Yeah.
I wonder if how many times I have. I think I have. I think I have a lot. But
When push comes to shove, it happens.
when push comes to shove,
Okay.
the Jake Storielli story.
Okay.
Isn't that your biography name? When push comes to shove.
Putting from the rough.
Oh, forgot about that.
Putting
Forgot
from
about that. All right, you're up first for regular old awards.
Jimmy, I'm gonna go with the ice cream man.
Wow, you got a crying baby behind you. They don't seem to
Crying
like
baby.
that.
I think I'm gonna get them involved.
The Ice Cream Man is the first award, and it is the first time you've given out this award, I think.
Oh yes. I mean, it is prestigious.
Yeah. Well,
It's
yeah.
the first time it's come out.
So let me try and dissect this a little bit. When the Ice Cream Man comes by, the music comes on. You're excited. All the kids come running. Oh, the Ice Cream Man's here. The Ice Cream Man's here. You get there. He's pretty slovenly. He's pretty gross. You don't really want to talk to him. You're like, oh, okay.
Spends his life in an ice cream.
Spends his life in an ice cream truck. You just give me that ice cream and let me get out of here. So it's like very exciting on the surface, but then a little disappointing. But then you walk away excited. This is going to. I have no idea. No idea.
It goes to David Hale.
I want to
What's
fight
up,
you.
dude? Talk about it. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about the ice cream man? Let's hear you talk about how angry you are.
I'm so angry because my first award was Sorry About Your Umbrella award.
And that's a Hale joke?
A hailstorm came on through.
Sounded like one hail of a joke.
See? You're getting it.
Umbrellas won't do anything against hail. You should have done like a car damage award or something.
That's why I said sorry about your umbrella, because you're an idiot. The rain turned to hail. Your umbrella got ruined.
Yeah, no, I don't. No one would do that.
I've done it.
The damaged car award. Well, you're a fool. David Hale, because Jim, ice cream. One of the features that comes with ice cream is the cone. David Cone has been on this since day one about David Hale. And Jimmy, Hale has been incredible. Jim, let's do our
timeout. Your brain's wired crazy. David Cone has been on the Ice Cream Man.
Oh, I tried to get further and further away from it because I like that you guess on it. So I'm just going to get as extended as possible and see if we can get you on my brain movies. Jim, how about his last 9 games?
I got all the stats because I was giving him an award.
12 innings pitched, 0 earned runs.
12.1.
Jimmy, let's go back further, shall we?
Yeah. Do the whole season. It's impressive.
15 games, which he's appeared in 17. But, Jakey Stats likes to have fun. 24 innings, his last 15 games. 24.1 innings, a 1.85 ERA. I mean, that's elite. And, on the season as a whole, his ERA is at 2.23, which is also still elite. Jim, the Yank, we know how volatile relievers are. R.I.P. Jonathan Holder. Oh, you come back soon, Dad. No, you're not, because David Hale has been killing it. And the Yankees clearly found something, and he clearly found something because the mile per hours are up. It all adds up. Coney was kind of on this first, and I think we were all kind of laughing when he was broadcasting. Like, I really like this guy.
We were on it first. Spring training, 2018.
We did like his one spring training game we saw, but David Cone had a little more skin in the game at that point. Hale's been great, dude.
Yeah, he's crushing umbrellas left and right.
Says no one.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to have to make up a second award on the fly, but my other award was the Third Branch Award.
The Third Branch, okay. So
I'm not excited about this award either.
I know this. You're talking about the 3 branches of government.
Yeah.
And the guy government, people who rule on the government, there's judges involved in that, the Supreme Court and stuff. It goes to Aaron Judge. Next award.
It goes to Branch Rickey for all he did in the sport of baseball.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Branch.
I was reading about him today, and I was like, wow. And he was the third. It was Branch Rickey the third. So what a terrible guess by you.
I wish you saw how much lead got put in my pencil by Paul O'Neill, strictly referring to Tim Raines as Rock. I love that so much.
The third branch award goes to Aaron Judge.
Wow, I did it?
Yeah, you did it.
I'm
It was
hot.
pretty easy.
Okay, you say that now.
Judge's stats on the season: 298, 425, 543, 968 OPS, which is very good. 298 batting average, very good. 425 on base percentage, very good. 545 slugging, good. Hits a home run, 3-run shot. He got a hit in each series, which you guys know I love that. When I give awards, I want to look for a guy who contributed in every game. A walk and a hit in game 3. A walk and a hit in game 2. A walk, 2 walks and a hit in game 1. Had a good series. Is having a good year. Some funky numbers came out, like he has no home runs to left field at all. And then the next day they're like, but no one throws him inside pitches at all. So
Yeah,
kind of adds up.
He hit that. Didn't he hit that deep double to left field?
Yeah.
Or not left field, but left center.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's having a really good year. I know it's still not a lot of games, but those numbers are impressive. And he had a good series. And the Sox thing was cool. He strikes out at a ball underneath his knees, comes back the next at bat, puts the Sox above his knees. That pitch was so low that he got rung up on.
It really is laughable. Jim, I'm getting so close to robo-umps. Because I got mad today because today's home plate umpire was the best ump in the major leagues. I forget. He had a weird name. It was Vic Mizzuna, Mick Fazoli. None of those names are right. But he's the best in the major leagues, and he gets them at a 95% clip. And Jimmy, that's like missing 15 pitches a game, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think those hot take from Jake. Ooh. Those 15 pitches could be really important. So yeah, Jakey Robots is sneaking up.
Wow. Because robots could overtake you easily.
Jimmy, he has a 2.6 WAR this season. This was before today. So in 42 games, he had a 2.6 WAR, which essentially would mean if he played like a full season, he'd be on pace for like a 9 WAR year.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good at baseball.
Which is like MVP level, and some people don't think he's playing well.
He's as good at baseball as I am hot currently in this room with no air conditioning, no fans.
You're telling me. Well, let me get to my next award because I actually got to catch the plane soon, I think. Jim, I'm giving out the Sticks Award.
Wow. I love when you give this one out.
The Sticks Award.
Sticks goes to Paul O'Neill for being the best drummer in the Yankees organization.
Ooh, close.
Hicks for hitting balls to the sticks.
That would be too obvious.
Yeah, that would be lame. Everyone would be so mad at you.
Everyone would be so mad.
Jake gives out the worst awards.
Jim, Sticks had the hit song Mr. Roboto, which, I think I've mentioned before, but when I used to rake bunkers on a golf course, was one of my first jobs. When that song came on, I would kick into gear.
That's your, get stuff done?
There was 2 songs. It was Mr. Roboto, just like that would get me going. And the other one was Baby It's Cold Outside because I'd be sweating my dith off in a bunker. So that was just ironic. Who was playing the music? It was an iPod, dude. What do you think's happening at the golf course?
I don't know why you are putting on "Baby It's Cold Outside" while you're working at a golf course.
It's an iPod Shuffle, bro.
Oh, I never had one of those.
So you can only put 200 songs on there. So I'm obviously gonna have "Baby It's Cold Outside" on there and Mr. Roboto because I have the worst taste in music ever. Jim, the award goes to DJ LeMahieu against his old team.
I'd pay so much money to see that full 200 list. That's probably atrocious.
It has to be pathetic.
This would be the saddest 200 songs.
I'll see if I.
Your 2 highlights were Mr. Roboto and a Christmas song.
I'm telling you, bud, it's a rough brain. Some people have bad knees. I have a bad brain. LeMahieu was killing it against his old team. hit in every game. You said you love that already. He scored a run in every game. Yep. 6 for 13, 5 runs, 3 RBIs. And Jim, I know you and I forget if it was on Talking Baseball or maybe it was the voicemail app. Sterling, your guy, called him his MVP today.
Yeah, I posted that on the Jay Sterling account.
So, the dude's having a special year. He could have gotten a pride. He did not. LeMahieu.
Okay. LeMahieu.
The machine.
The machine.
Robots are machines.
My next and last and final award.
Yes, sir.
Is the... And I'm making this up as I go because I had Hale lined up.
Right.
Is the You Can Do That award?
Okay, here we go.
Question mark?
Enjoy it, Stephen Tarpley.
Yeah, Stephen Tarpley.
3 innings, 6 Ks?
No, it's more than that. He pitched on the third game as well.
Yeah.
So it's 4.1 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks. But the 3 innings in one game. He was a closer in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Like, you can go 3?
I'm picturing that in my head as like the fun moment. Like Tarpley's on the team. He's throwing well. Boone looks at him after the first inning like, hey, you got one more, kid? Tarpley's like, yes, sir, Mr. Boone. Tarpley goes up, throws a second, and comes back, and Boone's like, hey, kid, you're throwing the ball good. If you want to go back out there, you can. Yes, sir, Mr. Boone. Did it.
Has the back end of our bullpen been really good? I mean, Sessa's coming off a good outing. Tarpley's coming off 2 good outings. Hailstorm is wrecking umbrellas left and right. And there's one other person. Oh, Nestor, but he's off the team now. But
yeah, kicked out. Chad is almost a part of that. He's been really good.
No. The front end of our bullpen is just deep.
Right. It depends how you look at.
If you tell me that Chad's part of the back end of the bullpen, I'll shove an umbrella down your throat.
If we're going by literal quantity, Chad would technically be the back end. So that's why I'm clarifying.
Well, and Kentucky would be in the north.
Brains at home. Jim, there was a stat today said on the broadcast that the Yankees hadn't lost a game by more than 2 runs since like mid-June or something, or early June. I think it was early June.
Is that a real stat?
I believe so. I can try to get there before you can.
You've given out so many fake stats, so it's just
that's not true. I'm okay with my stats.
All right, here are their last losses: 5-4, 2-1, 2-1, 4-3, 4-2, 9-4 versus Houston loss June 23rd.
So, I guess, and that's Paul O'Neill said it, and it makes a lot of sense. But that's because your pitching is good. Because if your pitching is good, you're going to be there. If your pitching is bad, you're going to lose a couple games ugly. So that's I think that's a part of it.
Yeah. So 20 game stretch with no losses by more than 2 runs.
It's impressive.
It's impressive.
Not
bad. All right. We got big series coming up. Twins are coming up. After that, Red Sox. We're excited. We have the voicemail episode coming tomorrow, 908-845-5792. 908-845-9752. I say with confidence.
Nailed it.
I'm expecting a lot of voicemails. Intern Luke's going to have his...
57? Isn't it Chad Green?
Isn't he 57?
Yeah.
5792.
There you go.
845-5792.
Yes.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for joining. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the reviews and all the Patreon love and getting us to number 2. That was very cool. We'll see how this thing goes, but it's looking like it's going to be a fun end of the season. I am excited. Call in for the voicemail up if you're new. After that, we have voicemail ups, kind of fun, kind of quirky, kind of like very opinion-based. And then we do a stats episode with Katie Sharp, Queen of Stats, which is much more informative and real numbers and quantitative and stuff like that. And then we'll be back with the Twins recap. If you want to listen to our pregame show, it's currently on YouTube. Jake, I did make the pregame show for the rest of this season, testing it out, will be on the podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, and all that. just to test it out, see if people would rather listen to it there than YouTube.
Yeah.
It's its own podcast, so you're gonna have to type Talking Yank pregame show into whatever app you use. It should be up everywhere besides the iTunes podcast app, but it should be up there in a couple days.
Delightful. I got to catch a plane.
All right. Jake's out of here. He's got to catch a plane. We'll be back tomorrow with the voicemail episode. Thank you guys for listening. Go Yankees. Tell them, Grams. All right. Okay. You got to go?
Like half. I mean, I can upload it. If you got something good in the chat, I can.
Oh yeah, you got to
upload in.
Got to upload. Dude, I got a busy day. I got to record Six Pack Cinema right now, and then go on this Cespedes barbecue show. Yeah. But I don't know if I can sit in here without air conditioning for that long. Like I might faint.
You shouldn't.
I might really faint.
You shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I know you're a little bit of an audio snob, which is a good thing. But
look at my face.
You've heard my answer already.
You see this?
You guys seeing this?
What should I wear on the show? I should wear just this Talking Yank shirt, right?
Yeah.
An Al Gary hat. Rep the brand.
The brand.
Dave Dwyer almost won a jersey today, but he didn't.
Damn.
Yeah. He's here. He's in the chat. He's in the chat. Dude.
Cool. So are you going to be on TV in a minute?
I don't know. Someone said it's on DAZN network. I got to tell my dad. Yeah, that's like a
big thing.
I got to tell like my parents because they love. Do they get DAZN?
I think you like say it. I think it's like Dazin or Dazin or something like that. What's the date today?
John Skipper's new app. Ooh.
Yeah,
DAZN. They say it's pronounced DAZN. Pronounced
DAZN. It's supposed to be like DAZN.
Oh wow, that's a. No one repeat this. That's terrible.
Oh, Jimmy.
DAZN, DAZN, and why don't you just call it the Zone?
If you're watching, Skip, sorry.
Sorry, Skip, but it's not on TV. It's stream only. Okay.
Okay. Counts.
At least they're not asking me. It's different questions because I did that ESPN in the morning interview.
Yeah, and they just did the same thing.
Well, I get that, but my dad and like my mom tuned in and they're like, it's the same questions. That's cool. DAZN. Like, how do you say that? Like, all right, live on DAZN. You have to say that every time? Live on DAZN. Seems terrible.
Sounds like you got it.
Yeah. Sounds. Tom says needs Jake getting interviews. Jake was there with Coley. See how Coley writes that one up.
Yeah.
Nervous for Coley said he's going to ask some of the players if they like watch or know of us. So if the article comes out and there's no mention of that, no one said anything nice. And now I'm going on DAZN. They're going to make me name my bottom three Savages.
Savages.
All right, Jake, enjoy your flight. I got to turn the AC on.
Yeah, I'm trying to upload this. It's moving super slow, so I don't know. It might not be up for a little bit.
All right, well, if you can get it to me before midnight, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
All right. See you guys. Thank you very much for supporting and subscribing and hanging out with us for a little bit. I gotta get on. Yeah, the bottom three Savages is tough. We do a motherfucker every episode though, so I'm treating it similar to that. See ya.